What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back, finally. I was actually on vacation. This was horrible timing. I was under the impression that I thought all the E3 stuff started on the 10th, which is today when I came back, so my apologies. They decided to drop a new Tales game trailer while I wasn't even here, so obviously I couldn't do anything about it. I could have made some crappy, phone video, but, I mean, what was the point of that? It was just a day away. So obviously I've already watched the trailer a million times and I've had some time to reflect on it. So we're going to be going over the trailer, what we see, and then we're also going to be going over the kind of synopsis that we have so far of what the story is going to be about. Originally, I did not have positive impressions of this game. When I originally first saw it, I was like, I felt it didn't feel like Tales to me. Like, I looked at it and I was just kind of like, what is this? This looks like God Eater or Monster Hunter or something. But I've had time to reflect and think about it. I've talked to some people, and I have a more open mind to how things look right now. So let's go over the trailer first, just so I can kind of give you guys my thoughts real quick. So let's check this out.
World premiere.
I'm going to be pausing at every kind of specific point. So, obviously, Bandai is creating this game. Now, I will say this. The landscapes and everything look beautiful. Now, I don't know which JRPG series it kind of reminds me of, but just the way the town is kind of laid out, it just doesn't look like normal Tales for me. But obviously, maybe those who are kind of in agreement of how I originally felt, we do need to understand that Berseria was built on an engine meant for PS3, and then just people who had PS4 got a copy of it. It was a PS3 game. So, obviously, the graphics did get a huge overhaul in the last 3 years. But that's okay. We just gotta, we gotta realize that this is where the graphical direction is kind of going. Everything we knew is truth. Once again, I'm liking how this, open world looks. I assume this city back here is what we just saw. And maybe this is kind of like the outskirts of it. Vast open. I mean, obviously, we don't know how much of this we're really going to be able to explore because it is still a Tales game. But it does look beautiful nonetheless. Looks like we'll get to go to some foresty, or not foresty. I mean, it's got trees. Some winter landscapes, which I always love. Everything we knew as truth was a lie. Okay, so it seems like this fire elemental, which may even be the Ifrit of this game, is going to have some kind of connection to the main character and maybe be his kind of power booster. Maybe kind of like how Ratatosk was kind of Emil's power. I love how that, little hallway looked. We get our first look at our first two main characters. Obviously, I really don't have much to say about Protag-kun #1. Just because, obviously, one, he's wearing a mask. Obviously, we see it off a little bit, but his outfit design, it's okay. It feels kind of meh to me, but maybe it'll grow on me. And then we got who everyone thought was Lila during the leaks. She looks nice, though. So obviously, Protag-kun over here is a sword user, and our female main character is a gun user, which is really cool. Now, when I first saw this, I thought we were still going to be in kind of the Berseria Zestiria kind of world, just because it's like, he's not armatizing with her, but he's getting his power from her. So there's obviously going to be some connection between these two. I don't think this is in the Berseria and Zestiria world, just because they talk about multiple worlds. So I don't think it's related at all. But obviously I could be wrong. Break free. So that's going to be his main power of his sword. Now, I would say the main point here, probably how he's going to... I don't want to elaborate on it too much because I want more time to think about it, but long story short, I think the way that he's going to I think every time he breaks off his mask more is going to be related to how much stronger he's getting. It's going to be related to this sword. And I have a deeper theory as to why he has this mask in the first place. But the basis of my thinking is that as time goes on in the game, we will have more of his mask come off as he gets stronger. So here's what's interesting. Like, and we can't judge it too much just based on a trailer, because obviously they're not going to have the health stuff down here. They're not going to have, where you hold down R1 and you can see the enemy's health meter. They're not going to have the outer circle of a normal Tales game. So at first glance, rolling and fighting like this, it just makes it seem like you're fighting in the outer world. And I'm hoping that's not the case. I hope it still keeps the normal Tales style of you run into the enemy and then there's 3 to 4 enemies in that certain circle area and your party comes out to fight it, which would make sense because obviously right here, all you see is him running around right here. So this is obviously the outer world, so he would obviously have to run into this enemy. But we saw in shots right here. Let's go back real quick. He's fighting over there. She's fighting this enemy over here. So obviously there's going to be some kind of circle area here. I just think it's not being shown at the moment for one of two reasons. One, because it's a trailer and they want things to look pretty. Or two, maybe the outer circle won't always show. Maybe it'll be something, it's there, but it only appears when you're running toward, or around it, really close to it. So obviously she's going to be a sniper kind of gun user, which will be very interesting because we haven't had, Ludger was a gun user, but, he had multiple weapons, so I don't really count him. Alvin had a gun and a sword. So there's that. And Iria used double pistols, so there you go. We haven't really had a sniper user. So yeah, what I was saying before about maybe he gets his power from Ifrit, that's what it looks like here, obviously. It looks like he's raising his, fire sword to him. Now here's one thing I think that people were kind of worried about when they first saw this, because it just looks like a bunch of boss battles. I'm assuming there will be regular enemies for us to fight. I just think for the sake of this trailer, to make it, looking like a spectacle, that's why it kind of, just kind of looks like a bunch of enemies. Or a bunch of bosses, anyway. What I'm interested in is the other party members, but obviously it's going to be some time before we get to that. She has this kind of orb thing that she looks like she places down at a later point. So maybe that's for something important related to his power. So obviously you can see them right here. We got 2 of them right here. These other 2 could be other party members, but I feel like their designs are too basic to be full party members. Tales usually has very unique kind of styles for the characters. So I think these people may be characters who help you through your journey. Kind of like how in Berseria, we had Benwick, we had Dial, characters like that. But I don't think these characters will be party members because their designs are just so basic that it doesn't seem like something they would do for Tales. And then we get the title, Tales of Arise. Now here's the thing with this title. I was at first wait, Arise? We already have an A. I guess they're throwing it out the window where, it used to be let's try and just use every letter for its own title. Obviously, mobile games and stuff like that don't count, as well as stuff like, what's a good example? There are some other kind of side titles that don't really carry that rule. But Asteria obviously has an A as well, but since it's a mobile title. And then we've got Tales of Link, which also, is a mobile title, so L is obviously exempt from that. But obviously they've already realized that this would be an issue, and when you're talking about it, TOA is still for Tales of the Abyss, and then when you're talking about Tales of the Arise, you just write TO Arise. So yeah, good trailer. I like what we're seeing here, and then obviously right here it says 2020. I was very surprised. I thought if they were going to reveal a game that it would be a late 2019 title, but what I'm guessing, if they already have they showed a little bit of gameplay in this trailer, as well as they showed a full-on trailer, I think this game will probably be a January or February of 2020 title. What I do like about this title, what they're doing, is it does seem like they're going to try and do a simultaneous release, because there's already an English trailer as well. I mean, this was showcased at E3. They didn't even wait for Tales of Festival, which was another weird thing that people really found weird. We may get more information on this game at Tales of Festival, but as of right now, it's a 2020 title. I'm pretty excited for it. Obviously, I'll be doing a full playthrough when it comes out, but let's go over the plot over here. I just found a random website where they were talking about it. So, Tales of Arise stage is set on two neighboring planets, Dana and Rena. The people of Dana consider planet Rena as a divine realm and has been handing down legends about the planet and its people through generations. So obviously, I'm guessing our main protagonist, the guy with the helmet, is probably from Dana, while the woman is from Rena. Because Rena is a divine realm. She obviously is someone with very mystical kind of powers. So that makes sense. This led the people of Dana to forget the terrible truth. Rena is actually ruling over Dana with a hand of steel, preventing the planet to develop itself by pillaging its resources. The people of Dana have been enslaved by Rena for over 300 years now. So it's one of those things where they were probably fighting back in the beginning, but now it's kind of gotten to the point where no one who's alive today remembers that they're kind of the bad guys. Planet Dana is an underdeveloped land where nature kept its rights. Meanwhile, Rena is an advanced civilization with evolved science and magic. So, obviously, and then it says right here, Tales of the Arise begins with a fateful meeting of the protagonist, a young man with an iron mask from planet Dana, and a young woman from planet Rena, who is currently on the run from her clan for a certain reason. Together, they strive to forge a new future for themselves and their people. So, this gives me two kind of thoughts right here. It feels like a mix, kind of the story of Symphonia and the whole double world thing of Xillia. Because, there was always the whole thing, Crucius and the Desians, basically had terror on, the people of Silveron and Tetheon. Well, mostly Silveron, at least in the beginning. Which were obviously the Crucius, the angels, who were divine beings. So it kind of reminds me of that in a way. So it'll be very interesting to see how they kind of spin this to not make it exactly the same. But yeah, overall, it seems like it's going to be an interesting game. Honestly, the same thing, I really just need to see more gameplay before I judge it any further, because if it does, for the most part, play like a normal Tales game, then I'll be happy. I mean, I wanted to have... With Zestiria and Berseria, they had very crappy equipment systems. I did not like how those were kind of set up. They didn't really have skill systems. I really like Xillia 1's skill system, how that worked out, just having like a regular skill tree. Or like Vesperia's skill system, I really like that, where you get the different skills from the weapons. So I hope that this game is more in-depth when it comes to the equipment and skill systems. And obviously I hope this isn't another... Because they're really promoting these two characters. The story is about these two. So I'm hoping that there's going to be at least like 6 party members, maybe 3 party members from each planet. Maybe the mask guy, finds 2 people on his planet, and then the girl finds 2 from hers. Because I wouldn't want it to be like... I love Dawn of the New World for its story, but it was kind of unfortunate. You really only get 2 characters you can customize, and the rest is just the Symphonia 1 cast, and you can't even customize them. So I do hope we get like a full party, and it's not one of this like 2 thing, and I hope there's not some like gimmick where it's like... Kind of like how Armatization was, like, he can only use his full power if she's in the party. Type stuff, but I guess we will have to wait and see on that. But anyways, guys, that is pretty much my thoughts on this game so far. Like I said, I'll have, as more news comes out, I'll have more videos to come out kind of talking about the plot and what we expect to see from this. So, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe for more if you're new to the channel, everyone. Throw this video a like if you enjoyed. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.